Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Books and Beers. I hope you enjoyed Falcon's last video, a random walk down Wall Street. That was the last episode of November, so now we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna review one of my favorite books that I've read this year. It's a memoir about Nike and its founder, Phil Knight. So obviously we know that Nike is a huge company. As you can see here, I'm showing my Nike apparel. They make everything from apparel, by the way. Nice model, super hot. Thank you. They also make running shoes, basketball shoes, skating shoes, lifestyle shoes. They make basketball shoes that can be used as lifestyle shoes. They have collabs with other designers such as John Elliott and Off-White. So they're obviously very successful and they're the biggest shoe company in the world. But it hasn't always been this way. Obviously, all companies have to start somewhere. And today's book is all about Nike's beginnings. What they were before all of this and how they got here. Yes, I understand I have a lot of shoes. Please don't judge me. If you want to buy some from me, I'll personally sign them and ship them out to you. Now back to the review. So Phil Knight got an idea to create a shoe company as he was running. And it's funny because one of the things that I've noticed while I started running in quarantine is that after running, you start feeling like this inspiration and clear of mind that I can't really describe. So I'll pass it on to a professional runner so he can talk about it.
The reason why I started running was because I started to really enjoy just going out for a run and clearing my mind. Then I started doing it competitively, and I found out that it was the only sport that will be competing against myself, that will push me to the next limit. That's when I signed up for my first half marathon, and I completed that.
Alright, that's enough. Point is, you get inspired after running. And so he didn't think of Nike when he was running as a young 24-year-old. He just wanted to create a shoe company. He didn't have the perfect plan in place. He didn't know how he was going to do it. He just wanted to create a shoe company. That was his passion. The company started not making Nikes from the get-go, but him importing shoes, Onitsuka shoes. I don't know if you guys have seen them before. He imported these from Japan, which is where our beer comes in for today, which is Sapporo, all the way from Japan. But I really don't want to spoil anything from the book, so I'll give you guys my 3 main takeaways, and if you find any of them interesting, that'll make you check out the book. Salud. So my first takeaway, sorry for the mess in the background, I know you guys are going to comment something. My first takeaway is very personal to me because I'm a 22-year-old. We have our whole lives ahead of us, and in today's world we stress a lot about wanting to just make it from the get-go, but we have to realize that we have a lot of time. Things happen. The only thing you have to do is put yourself in a position to be successful. But at the end of the day, I am 22 years old, and it's comforting to see that Phil Knight, when he was 24, he lived with his parents. He had no idea what he wanted to do with his life, and he didn't think of Nike when he was 24. He thought of Blue Ribbon, and it took him a long time to finally come up with the concept of Nike and to make it happen and to be successful. And that leads me to my second takeaway. My second takeaway being that it took him more than 13 years of suffering, grind, hard work, whatever you want to call it, to finally make it. And that's one of the things I like about this memoir, because when you read a memoir, you normally read about the successes and how one person became so incredibly successful and how they have all these qualities that make them the perfect CEO, manager, person in the world. But Phil Knight focuses his book on the first 10 years of the business, on the startup of Blue Ribbon turning into Nike, and how stressful it was, how many months he thought he was going to fail, the company was going to go bankrupt. It's truly fascinating to see the other side, because we only see the final product, which is Nike, obviously the biggest shoe company in the world, but there was obviously another side in the first 10-20 years of struggle, suffering, stabbing in the back by business partners, dealing with banks, and that startup story was pretty cool to me, and I think you guys will really enjoy it if you check it out. So my third takeaway was that you have to find something that you feel passionate about, and it doesn't have to be the next Uber, the next Apple, the next space tourism company. It doesn't have to be the future. If you really feel passionate about something, find a way to do something that already exists in a better way. Like Phil Knight did. He really enjoyed running. He had a big network of runners that he knew, and he dived straight into it, and through a lot of suffering that he endured because he really enjoyed what he did, he was able to turn Nike into what it is today. Now, I didn't really want to spoil or talk about the plot for this book because I really want you guys to experience the full entire book without knowing anything. What I'll tell you guys is that it's probably the best memoir I've read. Phil Knight is an incredible writer. He makes it seem like a conversation. I found myself laughing by myself while reading this book. And it's probably the most genuine memoir I've read. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it seems realistic, you know? He's not this almighty person who has all these good qualities. He's a human like us. He gets nervous in meetings. He messed up a lot of times while doing business. He had a lot of doubts in himself and his capabilities of leading a business. So it's cool to see that he's a normal person like us, which can sometimes be lost in memoirs. I think this book is definitely higher than a 4. I'd give it a 4.3. But if you enjoy running, if you enjoy entrepreneurship, if you like Nikes like I do, definitely check out this book. I think it's a read, almost being a must read. And as for the beer, Sapporo, haven't really talked about the beer. Very light beer, like every beer we have in this channel. I'll talk with Falcon to have some dark beers. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.3. I think one of the best beers, if not the best beer I've rated. So that's it for this video. If you want to get this book, I'm gonna put the link down in the description. I truly recommend it. Go follow us in our Instagram, subscribe, and stay tuned for December, which Falcon and I are gonna start doing joint episodes for the first time ever. So have a great week, keep reading, and keep drinking responsibly. Thank you.